Hello and welcome to the United Stand. We're close, we can almost touch it. The Premier League is nearly back. It's Jose Mourinho versus Sarriball. How does Jose Mourinho beat Sarriball? We'll be talking about that in a moment. Also, Andres Pereira talking about Mourinho. Very interesting things in the news. As you can see to my right again is Football Flash, which you can download for free. It's on Android and it's on Apple. You can follow Manchester United, you can follow Italian football like I do and get all your headlines in one place. As you can see, there's some headlines there about Jose Mourinho taking a dig at Manchester United scouts. Cantona, quite damning about Manchester United as well. And you can also do your BBC combined 11 with Chelsea. So make sure you download it. It's free to do it. Apple and Android Football Flash. But let's start off with Sarriball. What is Sarriball? I mean, a lot of you might not know what it is. Chelsea's manager is called Sarri. He had something at Napoli called Sarriball. And in effect, the way it works, and this should get your juices blowing, because will it be Mourinho's bus versus Sarriball? Maybe the bus can drive over the ball and pop it and we can come out with a draw. Who knows? But Sarriball in effect is this. It is 4-3-3, which is what he plays. It is high press game. It is quick movement of the ball from back to front. And it will probably cause Manchester United a lot of problems because we do not move the ball from back to front. We are slow on the ball. So it's, effectively, it's the opposite of Manchester United. Now, quite one of the interesting factors about Sarriball as well is that I mean, you'd think in the modern game this would be a problem because you just bank that side. But basically, Chelsea and Napoli before, because Sarri likes this, likes to go up the left-hand side mostly. The right-hand side's more about movement and you know moving people out of position, but the ball tends to go up the left-hand side. If you look at Morata's goal, the third goal last week, a couple of weeks ago against Southampton, completely up the left-hand side, loads and loads of passes. I mean, obviously Jorginho's come in from Napoli with Sarri. I think he's had the most passes in the Premier League so far this season, which is no surprise. But that is the problem that Manchester United had. They'll go up the left-hand side. We are crap down the right-hand side. From Leicester City right the way through till Newcastle, our right-hand side has been our weakness. You think about Ashley Young against Newcastle, you think about Valencia and Mata against Leicester, and other games. Burnley did it to us as well. We've struggled down that right-hand side. Sorry, Brighton did it down the right-hand side. And that is Chelsea's strongest side. So, you know, that is something that we need to really worry about. And how Mourinho is going to approach this game, I want to speak about in a moment. But first of all, this Chelsea side. So basically, the team that he's... And also, one thing also about Sarri, very consistent in his team selections. At Napoli last year, he only used very few players. And so far for Chelsea this season, he's hardly made any changes to his starting 11. So again, you've got that total contrast with Manchester United and how we line up. Mourinho changes his team every week. He moves the ball slowly and he doesn't press. Sarri doesn't change his team every week. He moves the ball quickly and he does press. It's the ideal. It's what Manchester United fans want, really. So they've got this back four. Obviously, Kepa's coming in goal for Courtois. They've got Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Rudiger and Alonso as their back four. Into the three, it's Kante, Jorginho and normally Kovacic, but Barkley's been playing lately. And then Hazard, Willian and normally Giroud, but maybe Morata. So... the reality is, whether it's Morata or Giroud, they're probably the weakest part of the Chelsea side. The midfield three worries me a lot. Kante, Jorginho, and whether it's Barkley or Kovacic, they're both very tenacious, they're both very powerful, they're both very good on the ball. Then you've got Hazard and Willian. I'm worried about this game. We're going to do the proper preview tomorrow night, but I just wanted to focus on Sarriball a little bit and say that, look, how Manchester United approach this game and how Jose Mourinho approaches this game, I think the worst thing you can do is park the bus. If you park the bus against Chelsea, you're just inviting a loss, really. Not because Chelsea, the way to hurt Chelsea is to get at Chelsea. If you sit back and let them press you up the pitch and play all their little passes, they're going to get penalty. I mean, Mike Dean and Eden Hazard is a marriage in heaven, isn't it? They're going to get a penalty at some point with those two. So we want to keep them away from the penalty box as much as possible. How we do that, I have a theory, but I don't think we will. I think we'll play deep. But if we play deep, that's what Giroud's there for. That's what Sarri plays someone like Giroud for. Because if a team decides to sit deep and not come out, he's got that option of putting the high ball into Giroud. So it's a great system because it presses the life out of you, it moves the ball out of you. But if you sit back, he's got Giroud, who's a target man as well. So the worst thing United can do is go to Stamford Bridge and sit back. I think we need to be much cleverer than that. But I have my concerns. I do have my concerns because we can't pass out from the back, and if we're pressed and hurried, that's a problem. The midfield three is very static. If you think the midfield three you'll probably go with, because there is some news for you, Fellaini is back fit for this game. Now, I was hoping Fellaini was going to miss this game, not because he's not been good for us this season, but he is absolutely the opposite of what you want for this game. You know, he really is. It's like going to work with in just your pants. You know, we need a suit. We need a suit for this game. And Fellaini is not a sharp dressed suit at all. He is going, we're basically, in fact, if we play Fellaini, we're going to Chelsea in just our pants, and we're pulling them pants down as well, and we're bending over to receive the loss that we will receive. Because their midfield is very tenacious, it is very fast, and if you think about the midfield three that we will probably play, Matic, Fellaini and lost Pogba, because Pogba's lost with two players like that that are slow and don't move the ball around. So there is a way for United to be, I'm not going to say we're going to win this game, but if I was Manchester United manager, the way I would play against Sarriball is I would try and play a midfield three that's going to express itself, move the ball around quickly and be tenacious in the tackle. I would go with Pogba, Fred and Pereira, or Pogba, Fred and Herrera, because Herrera's done it against Hazard before. He's fast, he gets into the tackle and he'll go all night. Apparently. Fred is the same. He's fast, he's tenacious, and he's good on the ball. I would go Fred, Pogba, Herrera personally. I don't think Pereira's got any chance, but Pereira instead of Herrera if you want. The reality is we're going to see Matic and Fellaini. And you know what terrifies me about Stamford Bridge? I mean, Matic is a good player, but I can envisage it now. Matic on the ball, unable to find a pass, taking 5 touches when one will do, getting absolutely swamped by the bumblebees of, or the wasps of Chelsea, absolutely all over him. And that's what I feel. I don't see the point in a Fellaini in this game. I don't see a point in Fellaini in this game. I really don't. The ball's going to be on the ground. It's going to be moved very quickly. What is the point in Fellaini? I don't see the point in that. I look at what maybe how United have approached games against Spurs, where we went 3-5-2, whether we could try that. But I just feel that the thing that people won't realise about Sarriball and the way Chelsea play is that they're not playing like 4 or 5 players up front. Giroud is up front. It's everything that happens behind him and that speed. It's the give and goes. They basically come all over your defence fast. You know, that sounds wrong, but they do. But God, but they do. They come at you fast. They don't have players playing on your back line. Hazard and Willian will pick the ball up, intricate run at your back four. Barkley, Kovacic, if they play, they'll run at your back four. There's no point in playing 3 centre-backs because you're only ever going to have Giroud to deal with as centre-backs. When they come at, what you need is quick, tenacious players. That's what United need. And what we need also on the break is, I would say, Lukaku, Martial and Sanchez is what I would play. That's what I would go with because I think that's really important. But one of the things about Chelsea and Sarriball as well is, because the way they press the ball high up the pitch, because when they get the ball, they're very good at moving the ball around, and it's all about probing the opposition, looking for little passes, but they do retain the ball very, very well. They don't concede many goals because of that, because they have so much of the ball, and they do a lot of their passing in the final third. So they're probe, and when they lose the ball, much like Pep's Barcelona or City, when they lose the ball, it's that demand to get in there and go and get the ball back. CGS says he'd prefer Fellaini to play over Matic. Well, hopefully Matic is out, because I think Matic is not suitable for this game, and I don't really want Fellaini. As with many things, when the team selection comes out, that is when you get your opinions, don't you? And I tell you what, if our team on Saturday had a midfield three of Herrera, Fred and Pogba, and a front three of Sanchez, Lukaku and Martial, I'd be a lot happier. I'd think, that's interesting. But if it's got Fellaini and Matic in it, I'm like, I can only see a loss. And it's going to be very interesting how Jose Mourinho approaches this game. I think if he parks the bus, we're going to lose. If he's brave and approaches it on the front foot with enough players in there to go and have a go, I think we could maybe get a draw. But it's very different. Matic or Fellaini, says Mark Owl. I'd always take Matic over Fellaini, to be honest. Oshan says that Martial won't start because he wants Rashford to track back. If Anthony Martial doesn't start against Chelsea, it is a bloody disgrace. He basically saved Mourinho his job. in the Newcastle game with that goal that he got. I know it wasn't the equaliser, but that goal at 3-1, all right, we scored a free kick from Mata, but we weren't doing anything. You know, Mata's free kick was just fortunate that we got a free kick. The Martial goal gave us that platform. He has to play on Saturday. If he doesn't play on Saturday, that's a disgrace for Mourinho, it really is. But I do not believe that we should park the bus. Imagine if he starts McTominay. Yeah, we're in trouble. He will park the bus, says Zana. I think this is the only thing Mourinho knows what to do. We've seen it at Anfield. We've seen it before at Chelsea. But it's a terrible, terrible bit of advice against Chelsea. You're going to see on Saturday, a lot of you maybe haven't watched Chelsea that much. You don't know what Sarriball's all around. I mean, obviously, I've been watching Serie A for a long time. I know what it was at Napoli. And to be honest, I don't think his squad at Napoli was anywhere near as good as like the Juventus one, and they pushed them very, very, very close for the title last year. And it all works very, very well. It works very, very well for Chelsea. And you've got to, in a sentence, they don't concede many goals. They're very quick into closing the ball down, and they're very quick at moving the ball, and they go down the left-hand side a lot, which is the weird thing about it, but it's not necessarily something you can do about it anyway. Oh, they go down the left-hand side. Let's bank the left-hand side. It doesn't work like that. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between Sarriball and what Mourinho did in the second half against Newcastle? Well, that was just gung-ho football. That had no tactical nous. There was no formula there. That you know, if you played like that against Newcastle at Chelsea, we'll get absolutely annihilated, about 8-9-0. I mean, there's a total contrast in the situations. To be honest with you, Sarriball's like a trip to Disney World. It's like everything's going on. There's so many rides. It's exciting. You can go from one to the other. It's day after day. Get on it. You know, get your Mickey Mouse t-shirt. This is what you want. Merch, whatever. This is a brand of football that is absolutely brilliant. Disney World. And then you've got Mourinho's, which is basically a walking holiday in rainy Scotland, and you know, you just take it as steady as you like. We'll reach the pub at some point. It might be dark, it might be nightfall, but we will get there, and they'll greet us with a ploughman's and a pint of warm ale. Not inspiring, dreary. And then you've got Sarriball Disney World, and that's basically it. That's what it is. I mean, they've got a manager in there who's, you know, if he was at Manchester United, we'd all be very, very happy with it. But I just would say, do not park the bus. McCaulfield Liam says, or maybe it's Liam McCaulfield says, Chelsea fan here. When we played Liverpool in the Premier League, that was the best we've played out from the back. It was so fluid and fast. Look, Liam, any Manchester United fan will. Look, I'm hating it at the moment. I'm worried about the weekend because as a United fan, I'll always give it large. Yes, come on, let's do it. But I'm not confident in this game, and I'm worried that on Saturday afternoon we're going to be taking the L's off Chelsea fans who are going to absolutely love it. But you know, we've got to believe and we've got to hope. Yeah, I would play Bailly and Smalling football life. I would, but we're not a good footballing team. You know, Liverpool are a good footballing team. Liverpool-Chelsea was a brilliant game, absolutely superb. So yeah, it was absolutely superb. But we don't play like that. We don't play that sort of brand of football. So that's not going to happen, is it? So I think Chelsea are going to have a lot of the ball, and I think Mourinho, if you offered him 0-0 now, he would take it. He would take it. Anyway, there's lots of other things I want to talk about, namely Manchester United and Andres Pereira. Now, we've spoken about Andres Pereira and maybe whether he can play in this game or not. It's not your call, Ed Woodward. It's bloody Flex. Flex phoning me at 8:20. Hello? So Andres Pereira has basically said that, look, I can't speak badly about Mourinho because he's the man who gave me a chance in football, but we don't feel the pressure. You know, there's talk of him being sacked, but we don't feel that that's going to happen. And I thought it was quite an interesting interview from Pereira because he, at the last international break 4 weeks ago, he was part of the Brazilian squad. He's obviously not been part of the Brazilian squad with Fred this one because he hasn't played since the last one. He didn't play for United after that. So you can't get picked for the Brazil squad when you're not getting picked for United. And I think the treatment of Pereira has been, you know, next to shocking. It's been a disgrace from Mourinho. He's absolutely frozen him out. And I think it's really, really poor. But Pereira's come out and said that, you know, we don't expect him to be sacked, and, you know, we don't feel the pressure, and, you know, there's a good working relationship with Mourinho, with all the players. What he did say that was very interesting, though, and it clearly, for anybody who had any doubts about the training ground incident between Pogba and Mourinho, Pereira was asked about the phone incident on the League Cup game when it was Pereira, Pogba and Shaw, and the phone went out. And he said, no, that video was filmed when we were 1-0 up. And obviously, Mourinho himself thought it had been done after we were losing. So that's obviously where that all went. Yeah, so very interesting. I mean, I was talking about Paul Scholes last night as well, weren't we? And Paul Scholes has had his say. David Seaman's come out and had a go at Paul Scholes, saying it's unjust for him to talk about that. I'll tell you what, Spunky, keep your gob out of our business. It's got sod all to do with you. You're an Arsenal player with a ponytail. That's what you're known for. And letting in crap goals for England. You know, what were you doing on that Ronaldinho one in the quarter-final in 2002? You bloody idiot. Probably got your hair stuck in your eyes. Keep your mouth out of Manchester United, and certainly do not go in on Paul Scholes like you've got some credibility. You're Arsenal. You're an Arsenal great. You're nothing to do with Manchester United. Shut up, sit down, keep your mouth zipped. Finito. You're not a Manchester United fan. You're not an ex-Manchester United player. What do you know about Manchester United? Keep your gob out of it. Right? Also, what else have we got to discuss? PSG and David De Gea. Now, this is quite interesting. PSG linked to David De Gea. Now, it got me thinking, because I don't think that De Gea is particularly happy at Manchester United at the moment. I really don't. I think he's spent a lot. Obviously, he won a title here with Sir Alex, but then he spent the last 5-6 seasons fighting for 4th place, you know, getting Player of the Year, but getting nowhere near titles and Champions Leagues. And he's arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, David De Gea. I think he is the best goalkeeper in the world. But, you know, he's not from Manchester. He doesn't, you know, he's not like Scholes or Giggs, where it's like, I don't really want to go anywhere else. This is the club for me. I think David De Gea loves Manchester and loves Manchester United. But actually, I think he's going to be getting to the point in his career where he's like, I've bought into 3 managers now thinking this was going to change. It's not changing. And I think De Gea's not signed this new contract yet. And I just think that, well, we always get focused at Real Madrid. Well, he can't go to Real Madrid because they bought Courtois. But why couldn't he go to PSG? Why wouldn't he go to PSG? So that's something to bear in mind. I'm just planting the seed, really. Because a lot of people are like, oh, he wouldn't go to PSG. He's not going anywhere now. Real Madrid haven't got it. I always think, why couldn't he go to Barcelona as well? But I just think De Gea will be getting a bit frustrated with the situation at United, like many United fans are, because it's like, it's not acceptable for the world's best goalkeeper to just keep being nowhere near title challenges. So that is something to certainly keep an interest in and watch out for. But I also wanted to talk about the loans as well. Fosu Mensah and Twansibi. Fosu Mensah's at Fulham. He had been playing a lot of games, but he's hurt his shoulder, so hopefully he won't be out for too long. But he was doing really well. And Twansibi's playing regularly for Aston Villa as well, who are not doing particularly well, but he is playing regularly as well. So that's a positive to know. Ooh, getting a bit tired there. Get the phone off the screen to Selwyn Greenidge. It was on the screen, but it was on the screen for a reason. What? Thanks, Selwyn, there for the delay. Actually, Selwyn, sit down. We'll do what I like on here. I don't know why I'm listening to you. Who are you? If Mourinho gets the ban on Saturday, the players will play without any fear, says Abdat. Yes, so Jose Mourinho's ban for Saturday, I think he will be banned on Saturday. I think part of him probably wants to be banned on Saturday. I think actually it's really disappointing, because I would have liked to have seen Mourinho on the touchline, because there's nowhere to hide for him there. It would have been uncomfortable, and I think maybe it would have inspired him to make sure that we don't lose. But if he's not on the touchline and the cameras aren't on him, you know, he's sort of detached, isn't he? So if the players don't perform, the cameras aren't on him really. So he's got till 5 o'clock on Friday to answer the charge. And if he appeals it, then obviously he will be on the touchline for Chelsea. If he doesn't appeal it, the ban will come into place straight away. I don't think he'll appeal it, so I don't think he'll be on the touchline for the Chelsea game, which is a shame. Chuck some questions in. Will there be beef with Mourinho and Sarri, says Faraz Ayub. I'm not too sure about the background about that. I'll probably have a look at it a little bit for the preview. I'll do my score prediction tomorrow as well. Cohen, this is not the Manchester United versus Chelsea preview. I do that on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock. I just wanted to do... Selwyn says he's the CEO of United Stand. I just wanted to introduce, as the build-up to the Chelsea game, what Sarriball is all about, so everybody knows. And can start preparing for it, because without question this is a very, very, very difficult game. Not only because it's the international break and we're playing away from home, not only because it's a Saturday lunchtime game after an international break and that can be a bit of a favour the home team. Obviously everyone's been all over the world. You want a home game after an international break. You don't want to be playing one of the informed teams in the league at their place, and then on top of that play a system that is absolutely the opposite of what you want to play. We don't want to be playing a team like Chelsea or Liverpool or City at the moment, because they press, they move the ball, and they could absolutely embarrass us. And I just hope the players are inspired by that potential embarrassment, because professional pride needs to kick in. You know, you might be subdued and restricted by crap tactics of Jose Mourinho, and I'm sure they will be, but they've got to fight for every minute in that game, because it could get embarrassing. You know, I feel for Pogba, I feel for Martial, I feel for Sanchez, I feel for Lukaku, I feel for our flair players, because they're playing under a manager who just hasn't got a clue. And they probably look at what Chelsea are going to do at the weekend and think, I'd love to play for Sarri. And that's the problem United have got now. We've got a manager that doesn't attract players, unless it's the money. We're going to struggle to bring players in now, because there's so many places you can go and play great football, and surely that's what a footballer wants to do, apart from the mercenaries. You know, you could go to Spurs, you could go to City, you could go to Chelsea, you could go to Liverpool, you could even think about Arsenal these days. But would you go to United, other than the attraction of the United club and maybe a bit of money? You know, if you're a flair player, you're going to want to play for Mourinho. So I think on Saturday, do I expect United to turn up and play Sarriball off the park? Look, I'm not on drugs. Well, a bit of paracetamol for my cold, but I don't expect United can't. You can't just turn the hot tap on and it's hot straight away. You know, Mourinho runs the cold tap. That's his football. But even if he wanted to go sexy football and put the hot tap on, it's still, you know, everyone's hot tap unless you've got a combi boiler. And we haven't. It takes time. It goes from cold to warm. We can't turn sexy football on Saturday and beat Sarriball. We can't do that. You know, that is a fact. We cannot go to Chelsea and play them off the park on Saturday, because we've never done that. We haven't got that style of football, and you certainly can't do it against a team that's ingrained in doing it. So the best we can hope for at the weekend is Chelsea have an off day, and we approach the game to try and hurt them on the break and be tenacious in the midfield. If we park the bus, I think we lose. So the players have just got to work hard. And that's not nice. That's not nice for flair players of United to know that their only chance of winning this game is running their socks off for 90 minutes and battling, because the tactics are not going to allow them to play great football. But we can hope. Any truth about the new owners potentially, says Emil. This keeps happening. This keeps happening. The takeover keeps happening. The takeover talk keeps happening. It's a bit like a yo-yo. It's up, it's down. The Saudi Arabian link, obviously. I just worry about it a little bit. I mean, it's billionaire owners, and I put a poll up on the United Stand Twitter account today, and 75% said they would take the money of the Saudi Arabians. You know, because obviously there's the moral issue. I do worry about the moral issue, though. I don't really know enough about the moral issue, but these links to journalists being killed and human rights issues, I don't really like it. But I think if anybody was to buy Manchester United now, they're going to have a background, aren't they? They're going to have a backstory. So all I would say is if we did get taken over by any sort of billionaire, it would be very, 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 very exciting, wouldn't it? It would, because one thing that United fans have had, and I know we've spent money, but we have had owners who've treated it like a business and withdraw. You know, it's like a bank, and they withdraw money when they want it, and they'll spend money to get us into. I mean, I've said this consistently actually, and I'll repeat it again. United spend a lot of money when they don't get in the top four, because they need to get. They can't roll. You know, United. If you miss out on top four once, if you miss out on twice, there's a lot of things around sponsors where it halves and things like that. So if you look at United's history, When Van Gaal came in after Moyes, he was given loads of money that first summer to get us in the top 4. He did. He didn't get so much the summer after that. When Mourinho first came in, we weren't in the top 4. We weren't in the Champions League. He got Pogba, Zlatan, Mkhitaryan. That was fine. His second summer, we didn't get so much spent. We got Lukaku and Matic, but we probably needed another 3 or 4 players because 4 players was never enough. But then United owners will never go crazy. And they certainly spend more money when we're not in the Champions League because they need to damn well make sure that we are. As we've said many times, if United are in the Champions League and Mourinho wants 300 million and they'll go, you can have 100. Because they don't really see the money value in finishing first over second other than a trophy. That doesn't bother them. There's not a lot of financial difference. I think last year United earned more money than Man City did, and Man City won the title by 20 odd points. So that to an owner like the Glazers, they'll just go, well, why should we spend another 200 million just to win the title? It's not, we could make 200 million by not doing it. Whereas I think if you get a billionaire owner in, they will want the Neymar at the club. They will want the trophies at the club, which can bring its own problems. I certainly would say if we are going to get taken over, you need to have a long hard think about it. Not that they're going to listen to us, but do we want owners that are like PSG, where it's sack the manager even if they won the league because you haven't won the Champions League? That's the other thing. Do you want an owner like Abramovich at Chelsea, where they get rid of managers because you have a few bad results? There's good and bad. I didn't hear what Simon Jordan said, Gavin Jameson. I'd like to know. The title's everything, Michael Jones. To be honest with you, I don't care if we win the title with 11 youth products. I would rather Manchester United win the title with 11 youth products than 11, Neymars. Because that's, when I think of United, I think winning trophies is what we should always be aiming to do. Promoting youth and playing good football. They're the 3 cores that I focus on. I think Real Madrid fans probably want the Ronaldos and everything like that, and they want the trophies. They want the whole world. But at United, there's a sort of way of doing it, and I think that's very important. Moo1900 says, if you criticise the club, you'll go missing under the new often. The update with Discord, somebody asking, I haven't got a fucking clue how it works. I tried to get it working. I don't know how it works, so that's on hold at the moment. I was hoping to get it working over the international break. I've watched loads of videos on it, and I haven't got a bloody clue how it works. I mean, Skype, someone Skypes. Discord, there's little rooms that you have to invite people into. I don't know how you pull a call out. I haven't got a bloody clue. So if anyone's got a clue how Discord works and how it can work for the United stand, there's a little project. I'm at Mark Goldbridge on Twitter. Drop me a DM. Thoughts on Mason Greenwood, one of the biggest talents in world football, says Jack Coleman. He's miles off, mate. He's a very, very good talent, but he's miles off under this manager. I think if Van Gaal was here, or Sir Alex was here, he probably would have had a run out by now, as would Gomez and Chong. But the thing about Greenwood is, under Jose Mourinho, it could be 4 or 5 years before he gets a game. Chong should be getting games now. I don't know why we need to leapfrog Gomez and Chong to go to Greenwood, because Greenwood looks like a great player, but Chong and Gomez are further on and should be getting game time. So, yeah, Greenwood's great, but you know what? We used to have a great business model like Barcelona, and I miss that identity, says Andrew Ellis. The Glazers will sell. I know a friend that knows the Glazers. Just watch, you will see, says Abdalal. Look, Rance said it on the Rants and Flex show. Manchester United, the Glazers bought United to sell United. They definitely did. Everybody with a business now knows that the Glazers want to sell United at some point. Whether it's now, I think it could be now, because, in another life, I did like financial stuff and everything like that. And the reality is, they will want to sell United at its peak, at its absolute peak. Now, there's 2 concerns with this. One, we're potentially at our peak of value, £4 billion. We're potentially hitting it because we're not getting success on the pitch. There's a lot of players that need new contracts. There's probably more money that needs to be spent to get us there. We're losing favour outside of the UK in places like America and the Asian market. So we could start dropping off. Well, obviously, we're still going to be one of the richest clubs in the world, but your value drops off. And if you're a business person like the Glazers, you want to sell the club at its peak value. And it could be about to drop off. What I would say that is, though, it could still have a little bit more in it because of things like the new TV deals. The Glazers are desperate to bring in this sort of thing that we want as fans, which is whereby you can pay to watch every Manchester United game. Like the ridiculous situation we get in the UK where you can't watch a 3 o'clock game, or there's some games on a Sunday that's not on the telly but you can't watch it. So unless you're going to the game, you can't see United unless you're going to illegally stream or something like that. So the Glazers know that there is, and Woodward knows as well, there's a lot of money as and when they get that sorted where you can pay to watch every United game. It's massive money, and then the club value goes up. So at the moment, I would lean towards that the Glazers do want to sign United. Of course they do, but I think they still think they can get a bit more value out of us, so they might be here for a few more years yet. Dave B, I disagree. I think Chong's better than Greenwood, to be honest. But, you know, each their own. They're all United players. I don't need to argue about it. Sarri is the best manager in the Premier League, says Carl John. Great football with a pretty mediocre team. Agree. I don't think he's got... See, Carl, I don't think he's got a mediocre team. I think Rudiger and Luis are pretty decent centre-backs in the Premier League. I mean, there aren't really great centre-back partnerships, are there? I'd say... As much as it pains me to say, I'd say the best centre-back partnership at the moment is Van Dijk and Gomez. I think they're a brilliant centre-back partnership. I mean, City fans might say different, but I think they are. So Luis and Rudiger, their full-backs, Azpilicueta and Alonso, are very, very, very consistent. Their midfield three, Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic or Barkley, is one of the most exciting midfields in the league. And then you've got Hazard and Willian, which are, you know, very, very, very good. I mean, the weak spot in the Chelsea team, I think, is the number 9. Bloody hell, if they put a number 9 up there, like an Icardi or someone like that, God, they'll be unstoppable. I personally think Chelsea will be top of the league at the next international break with breathing distance. Whether they can win the whole league, they've got to watch out for that Europa League ruining it. But Chelsea could do what they normally do. Win the league, get a manager sacked, get a new manager in, win the league. You know, I really do think that they might have an opportunity to do that. I do. Please smash the like button, everybody. We want to get 500 likes. Well, I'm going to be a FIFA YouTuber. There's nearly 3,000 people watching. Smash that like button. Let's see if we can get 2,000 likes. We've never done it before. Hit that like button while you're watching, whether you're live or not. Come on, people. Hit that like button. Also, put me some questions in. I'm going to stay live, so hit the like, get involved. I'm feeling good. I've got an old retro United top on, and football's back, and whatever happens on Saturday, United are back, and we've got Juventus on Tuesday, and I'm massive. These are the games you want to play. These are the games you want to play. What is our excuse? What is our excuse? We are playing. We've got nobody really injured. You know, this is the problem with United. You go into this game against Chelsea terrified that we're going to lose. You know, genuinely worried that we're going to lose. And I've been to places like Chelsea before, and you know, we've had big players out, and you're like, oh, it's going to make it tough. Who have we got missing? We haven't got anybody missing. Everybody's fit. We're just not good enough. You know, we're just not good enough in year 3. That's the problem. But you know what? If we go and win there on Saturday, whoa, wow, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It would be brilliant. It would be absolutely brilliant. And you know what? If we did win on Saturday and played in the right way, I would be more than happy to say, look, I'm not Mourinho in yet, but if he can keep that up, he can win me back, and I'm sure a lot of you would say the same. But absence makes the heart grow stronger, and I think where a lot of us were Mourinho out adamantly around the Newcastle game, obviously United not playing for 2 weeks and Mourinho going quiet for 2 weeks, it sort of quells the fire a little bit, doesn't it? Andrew Ellis will be shouting no, but it does. It's just human nature. It's been quiet for 2 weeks around Mourinho, so we've sort of, you know, the fire's gone down a little bit. And the optimism comes back a bit because we're United fans. So it's going to be an interesting game. I can't wait for it. I can't wait. If we win, strip dance. Phase mood, if we win, I'll do a strip dance for you. It'll probably just be me and you left, but I will be. Will I be doing a watch along on Saturday? Yes, mate, Jake. Yeah. 100%. Absolutely 100%. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Atra says, if we do get Saudi Arabian takeover, would you worry about the name change of Old Trafford? Well, you know, this is the modern day. This is the modern day. I would hope not. I would hope not. Said Jamie says, nothing will change in my decision. I still want Jose gone. The damage is already done. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Nothing, even if we win on Saturday, I won't change my opinion. I do, because I think it would be, all I would say is amongst the strip and the absolute adulation and celebration, once it calmed down a bit, I would say, well, the problem is I'm still Mourinho out because I've seen us do this to Man City in April, and then we go and play crap for 3 months afterwards. So, you know, a drop in the ocean, we need the ocean, not a drop in the ocean, but, you know, it wouldn't stop us celebrating and being absolutely excited, would it? I've got over 100,000 coins on FIFA now, you know, I've sold a few players. Andrew Ellis says Jose doesn't know his best team and you think he would improve us. Welcome to the McDonald's arena, says Bacon Luigi. I'm looking more forward to the Juve game because I realistically think we have a chance of winning that match instead of the Chelsea one, says Kyle, Java, Jay, Yannon. Look, we're spoiled. You know, we're not spoiled in relation to our football team, but we've got 2 cracking fixtures coming up in less than a week. You know, it's brilliant. Really, really can't wait. Can't wait for both games. And I've said it. I've called it. As bad as we are, I just think Italian teams are there to be got at, especially in England, because if we get them with the pace of the Italian league's not the same as the pace in this league. I know Juventus are a good team, but Spurs went and played them off the park last season in Turin. We can do it. We can do it just because of our physicality and speed. But that's for another day. That's for another day. I'm not opening any packs, Mad Marcus. You open some packs. PS4. Hazza is in the live comments. How you doing, mate? Let me know if you want to come on for the team news on Saturday, if you're about. Actually, drop me a DM, or I'll drop you a DM. He says, do you think we have a better chance of beating Chelsea with Matic injured? He's obviously joined a bit late. Yeah, 100%, mate. Because I've obviously done the Sarriball chat, but the reality is, Chelsea are going to move the ball quickly on the ground. And the midfield 3 should be Fred, Herrera and Pogba. It won't be that. I'll guarantee if they're fit, he'll play Fellaini, Matic and Pogba. But they'll get annihilated. They'll give loads of free kicks away because they're just tall, lumbering giants. And the little Hazard and everyone else will just be passing around them. I think Matic is... And also Matic is so... He's a presser's dream, isn't he, Matic? Because you know... Like, if I'm playing football... Long time since I did, but if I know a player's going to take more than one touch, you press them, you get in at them, and everybody knows Matic takes more than one touch, so it's a pressing team's paradise, Matic. I just hope that this injury keeps him out, and I never really would say that. Well, I don't wish an injury on anyone, but the reality is he's carrying an injury, and I would hope that keeps him out of the game, because tactically I think Matic is a problem. I mean, at least Fellaini, actually, in fairness, if Fellaini will be a problem as well, but he doesn't hold on to the ball when he gets it. It's like a hot potato with Fellaini. He gets rid of it very, very quickly, and that's what we're going to have to do. I think Pogba could have one of his worst games against Chelsea, and I say that only because Pogba wants to do things. He's a flair player, but they'll buzz flog. They will absolutely buzz all over Pogba because you don't need to worry about Matic and Fellaini creating everything. So they'll be all over Pogba, and I can see Pogba having 2 or 3 players around him, not having any movement around him. I can see it being a problem. I'm intrigued how Jose is going to approach it anyway. I would play Pereira, Tommy. Yeah, I'd play Herrera as well. I'd play Fred. I think we need that tenacity in the midfield, as I say. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've got the preview coming up tomorrow night with me at 8 o'clock. And I think we've got Flex at Stamford Bridge tonight filming a preview with one of the Chelsea channels who are also going to be talking about Mourinho in the 3rd year, which I think is going to be really interesting. That'll go up tomorrow lunchtime. So keep an eye out for that. Loads going on. Make sure you are subscribed. And as I said at the start, Football Flash, download it. It's available on Apple and on Android. It's free. You can get all United news on there. You can follow any league you want, any teams you want. It's brilliant for Premier League or anything like that. I follow Italian football, Manchester United, and the headlines on there are Zidane having a pop at Mourinho and Mourinho having a pop at United Scouts and the combined 11 as well. So Football Flash, download it. Link in the video description. Give it a go. Android and Apple. It's totally free. There's no betting or anything like that. It's just an app, free to do it. And I'll see you all tomorrow. 2 big shows tomorrow as we build towards 2 big games, but it's all about Chelsea on Saturday. Howdy. Howdy, partner. How do?